Welcome to Gem Collectors with Sean, and I am that Sean, and happy to be here with you this week. And as each week passes, hopefully healing will occur at every stage. And had some bad moments this past week. And if those of you are wondering what I am talking about, well, I lost my dad a couple of weeks ago, and still have that kind of fresh in my mind. But we did as part kind of not really trivia, but instead of trivia, we asked everyone to post something that related to someone that was important to them in a loving way, or love of a parent, or someone that affected their life. It was about love, and anyone that you cared to share a story that reflected that love in relationship to your life. And I can't tell you how moving it was for our small team here that was exposed to all of your stories. And last week you probably saw we had to quit in the middle of talking about it for Asif to dry his eyes, for me to gain my composure, and then it was funny because I shared with Asif that later that same night just a text, which we usually don't. We're usually tired, but I wanted to text him and tell him how moving and how thankful I was for all the spiritual energy, I guess, that was within that show. And he said that he came home and in sharing the story with his wife, started crying again because it was just very moving for both of us. Asif didn't lose anybody, but that doesn't mean that we can't all be touched in a spiritual way deep within from all of you who, I guess I am so thankful that you shared those stories with us. We feel honored that you felt comfortable and responded to my query, question, and on such a personal nature, it really actually was. But the stories that you guys shared were, wow, were really, really, really amazing. And so, that's just a few in our Rockhound group. So, you have to, as we walk through life or walk down, a sidewalk and you pass somebody, you wonder what stories they have to tell. You wonder that, what some of their struggles might have been through. The story about hiding in the bed during the Nazis, when the Nazis were coming looking for you, in the story of the relative. Wow, that's meaningful. That's a lot of, that's something that unless that person shares and that story gets out, then it can die with a particular generation and never be told. And so there's stories about love and affection that need to be told, need to be shared. And there's also healing in doing that, as we saw in Anthony, never having talked about his friend Michael, and yet this show brought that out in him and brought him to tears. And so, so we have more comments. And they're comments about some of the comments from all of us, and that's going to be interesting to read. We're to get to that. I also want to tell you that I got to thinking, and this was such a heart-to-heart, meaningful sharing that all of you did, that I wanted the memento. I don't even want to call it a gift. I don't want to call it a trivia, anything. But I wanted the memento that I wanted to share with all of you to be something that you will remember, and just a parcel of some gemstones or some crystals wouldn't be as memorable as what I have decided to give everybody, including and adding a couple of other stories that some of you shared that were later past the deadline. And you'll see what that is at the end of the show. So it's going to be something more relative to my dad and I, and something I think that you will cherish and remember what you got that particular specimen for. And that way, this moment of love and understanding and sharing will carry on in a legacy type of way. And Asif and I and the team would love for that to be the case, and something to remember the moment by. So that said, let's get carrying on with the comments and the answers to the trivia question that we posted last week. So let's go back over the trivia questions, and then we'll get to the comments. All right. Question is, what is the name given to the direction a shell grows in? So remember, I wanted to go back because I think that that's not only an interesting word and a word that you could use in Scrabble, is it? That everyone would question you on and say, oh, that's not a real word. But yet it is, and maybe get a lot of points out of the deal. So, question, what is the name given for the direction a shell grows in? And then for additional credit, what is the name of the direction called if a shell grows and is considered a right-handed shell or a left-handed shell? What are the two names? Answer to the first question was, what is the name given to the direction a shell grows in? Chirality, C-H-I-R-A-L-T-Y, chirality. And chirality just does not apply to shells. It is actually a word that is used in chemistry also for balance of equations and whatnot. So also then the question was, what direction is it called if it is a right-handed shell or a left-handed shell? And a right-handed shell is called dextral, and a left-handed shell is called sinistral. And then the third question was, what is the name of the property of opals that absorb and dissipate water? And I think that I may have asked that in years past, but again, we're going back and we're checking and making sure that you know important words. So when you hear them used, you know what someone is referring to, and you will, there's certain particular words that you need to know. And in regards to this, it's really important. If you're sitting around talking about opals and someone says, yeah, I have a hydrophane opal, and you don't know what that means, even though it's never wrong to ask the meaning of something, but it might be something also that you should already know and be expected to know by the group that you might be around. I'm just saying, word being hydrophane, a hydrophane opal. That's an opal that a lot of the Mexican opals were originally that you could see that way, but when they discovered the Ethiopian opals, wow, especially the Wello opals, those are the most hydrophane opal I have ever seen. In other words, the percent of water that they would absorb and dissipate is huge on some of these. And they totally will change. They'll go from clear to opaque white on the real, I guess, the ones that have the greatest amount of water dissipation and absorption. And the thing about it is think about this, if you're doing a quality control and you send an opal out from humid Georgia and it weighs a particular weight, and you send it out to someone that lives in in Tucson, Arizona, in the desert where the humidity is really dry, that opal, when it gets, let's say, then it's returned and quality control checks the weight, well, I have seen it, and it was a question at first to be addressed so they could understand why there could be an imbalance, and the larger the opal, the larger the overall difference in weight you can get. So you're going to go from a dry climate, there's going to be less water in that opal, because I have seen those hydrophane opals take on as much as 10% additional water weight. In other words, a 10-carat stone takes on another whole carat's weight worth of water. 20-carat stone, that would be, 2 carats. So you can get these huge differences in the weight of a stone, depending on, let's say if it was before you returned it, it rained, or you took a shower, or you washed, or got wet, or whatever, that happens too. So I actually did some experiments on just how much variance and how quickly also they absorb and dissipate water, and the absorption rate really fast. So it's really amazing how porous that that variety of opal is in between the molecules. And it's just silicon oxide, just as if it's a quartz, but it's a different amorphous makeup. In other words, it's not a crystalline makeup, and it can allow a lot greater absorption of water into the stone. So that was the answer to number 3. So we were talking about the direction of the shell. So the direction of the shell, and as part of one of the questions was, what direction is the shell that was shown? So going back to the shell part, when I held up the shell, the question was, what direction or what type of chirality did the shell that I had? This one, which direction it is. So how you tell is you hold the shell up with the point up and the aperture, the opening, facing you. So in doing it this way, of course, it might look backwards, but all of you figured it out, because if I'm looking at this and the opening is on the right-hand side as I am looking at it, then it is a right-handed shell and therefore a dextral. It has dextral chirality. If the opening was on the other side, then it would be called sinistral chirality. And the interesting thing is that only one shell out of 100 on average, and this is across the world, this is with these gastropods, the mollusks, across the entire globe, 99% of them have right-handed or dextral chirality. The key to it is, I feel bad for the poor sinistral chirality gastropods, mollusks, because it all has to do with mating. And the ones that happen to have sinistral chirality, they're not going to be so lucky, because it only works if both are in, so we have to look for a left-handed one. Yeah, so they have to have the same chirality. So can you imagine the poor sinistral chirality shell that has a left-handed aperture has to roam the lands or the oceans to look for 1 out of 100 choices is what that shell gets to be able to be lucky in love. And so it self-perpetuates itself, and why they're not more left-handed ones. So there you go, a little additional information. All right, let's get to the comments here. We have, Miss Barbara says, "Dear Professor, You shared your pride in your father, not only by kind words, but with the glow on your face. And I'm sure he was proud of the knowledge and craftsmanship you attained in your chosen field. Honor him, speak about him, share his example, because then he is never truly gone. Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Very, very kindly and well said. Harry sent me a picture of Tiger Eye using that cool stuff that I need to get some of, his Everbright spray. You know, I always talk about my cheesy spray. Well, he's got a upgrade that is better than mine, Everbright. So I have to get some. And he showed me a picture of his Tiger Eye that he had ground to a 600 grit, then applied that, and it filled in all of the surfaces and left it really a beautiful glass mirror polished finish, it looks like. So thanks for that, and the picture showing me just how well it does. Then we have Miss Barbara again saying, hi, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. So glad to hear Raven is back. Yes, and she is here right next to me again now. It was an emotional and heartwarming program today. I don't think there was a dry eye anywhere in the audience either. There certainly wasn't over here. Sharing experiences are what makes us human. They say a problem shared is a problem halved, and I think that was proven true today. Unique goodies today, both old and new, offering the Pakistani 4 for anyone who has missed them, and Tantalite 2. I like that. I like putting that way, the Pakistani 4. That's referring to the 4 incredible rare minerals that I was able to get from Pakistan, including the pink apatite, the sphene, the red zircons, and the triplite. I like that. As to the trivia, chirality is a handedness in shells and crystals. Dextral is right-handed and sinistral is left-handed. Note the pejorative sinister associated with left. Good point. I'm left-handed though. Your shell was open to the right and is thus dextral. Right again. Got up early this morning to use the coolest part of the day, swapping out window ACs when a compressor stopped working in the middle of a 5-day heat wave. Now I deserve a nap. Be kind, be cool, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Boy, that I can understand what a pain that must have been, losing the air conditioner. Ooh. Harry says, hi, Professor and beautiful Raven and Asif and Dave and all the rest of the GSN gang, and of course, all you brothers and sisters in Stone. Hi and good health to us all. Sean, what a special episode to share personal experiences of our lives with you guys. Is such a heartfelt experience and a breath of fresh air that there are actual people willing to share on that level. Hey, it's great. The beautiful Raven is back, and that's great news. So cool. Great words, Harry. Great words. When I mentioned about having my larger collector stones authenticated and graded, I was thinking about different ways. He was thinking about different ways that he could move them. You do have some beautiful items. Loved many of the items today in the latter half of the program, and when the trivia started, I was even happier. I took really good notes with drawings on the directional opening and names for each direction and the whole science of chirality. And left-handed opening is sinistral, and only 1% because the shells don't like to be called lefty-loosey. This is how he remembers it. And righty-tighty sounds so much better. And 99% or is that about bolts and nuts? Tee-hee. The snail shell you held up was a righty-tighty dextral directional type. Now the doggone opal sponges I can't stand are called hydrophane. Yeah, you're not alone there on that. The Raven, she's not a fan of those Ethiopian opals much at all. She loves the Australian. I'm all for the real opals from down under. It's the only real ones, as far as I'm concerned. Well, thank you for the little parcel of gem pieces. Much love to all of you fine people, except it's not going to be gem pieces. It's going to be something else. Wait till you see. Yeah, so the hydrophane opal, it definitely has to be a negative if you're going to compare opals. It's not something, it's kind of an unusual property, but if you catch it in its stage where it's completely opaque white with no fire coming out of it, then you may want to quickly run into some water. But some of them can have that big of a difference, and they really are sponges. And the only thing that it's amazing that they do is they're able to absorb and dissipate that much water without them crazing, which is getting the hairline little fractures in them. Whereas the Australian opals, once they craze, once they dry, that's it. There's no fixing them. If anybody could discover a method to fill Australian opals that have crazed, wow, they could make a fortune, because I have seen $1 million opals, what would be most incredible opals you've ever seen, and then be crazed. And it absolutely destroys the value when that occurs, especially in the really high-end goods. It just makes them more of a specimen than of a gem. So, yeah, pros and cons to that part of it. But as far as the beauty in an opal, I think that the different choices of Australian opal really covers everything you would want in an opal in beauty. But a trade-off, because they are more expensive. You know, if you're, let's say, comparing crystal opal with crystal opal, the Australian opal would be much more expensive. Black opal, really there's very little true black Ethiopian opal, even though there is, but there is so many treatments they're doing to it that it would be without a some kind of guarantee or certification on it, it would be very difficult to trust purchasing one unless you got it from someone reputable that could assure you that it's a natural black opal, because they are doing the treatments to them, of course. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania says, hello, Rock family. Sean, I have no words for today's show. It was all feels. I was thoroughly entranced by hearing everyone's comments. The tears were flowing, as they will be this coming Saturday. We are going to a celebration of life of a dear friend, my husband's best friend from childhood and mine since our teens. He was 65 when he died of cancer back in June. We spent about 5 hours with him a week before he was bedridden and under hospice care. His last good day, per his wife. I'll be having a shot of Fireball whiskey from the bottle he gave me in his honor. I have come to accept that tears must flow in life, and it is okay to let them. Happy tears will flow also, just like Sue's comment about her father taking her driving. My father took me out as well, in his old Chevy 3-speed on the column. No power steering, and yes, I ran into our mailbox. Oh, you ladies, I don't know. You know, I don't see any guys fessing up, at least, to the stories like that. Thank you, and everyone, and she does this in really big caps, thank you and everyone behind the scenes and off camera for the wonderful gift of gem parcels. But they're not gem parcels yet, and I have to wait and see. Trivia. Chirality. Sinistral is left, dextral is right. The shell you held up is a dextral shell. Part 2, hydrophane. Miss Cindy getting it all of them right. Till next week, everyone, take care of yourselves. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. And the favorite specimen of the week to her has to be the Romanian stibnite. And I agree with you. Great choice there. Miss Elisa in Florida says, hello, GSN crew, Professor Sean, lovely Raven and Rock family. Welcome back, Raven. Yay! So glad you are doing well enough to be back. Thank you all to those who shared some personal stories. This was a great opportunity to honor those who have touched our lives. Miss Penny, you're an amazing woman raising a remarkable son. I feel honored to be a part of a group with such amazing individuals. Thank you again for this opportunity to remember those who helped form us to be who we are today. My answers to this week's question: chirality, dextral is right-handed, sinistral is left. The shell was dextral or right-handed. Hydrophane on the opal. Stay safe, everyone, and make this week the best yet. Miss Elisa. Well said. Miss Kathy in Michigan. Haven't heard. Or in Galesburg. That's M-I. Yeah, Michigan. Hello, Sean. Here are my trivia answers. Coiling. That's a good answer. They could have made it much easier by saying that instead of chirality. Right-handed is dextral, left-handed sinistral. Looking at you, it is right-handed. And for the opal, amorphous form of silica, which you're absolutely correct on that. It is an amorphous form of silica. Amorphous meaning it does not form in a crystalline symmetry or any kind of crystalline form. But the word given to an opal that dissipates water and absorbs it is hydrophane. So well done there, Miss Kathy, and hope to continue to hear from you. We have from Miss Peggy, or Peg. Dearest Raven, Sean, Asif, the crew from GEM, and the best group of rockhounds. Wow, what a great show. I feel that you have found the light at the end of the tunnel. I hope that you complete your journey successfully. I have serious prize envy for this week's giveaway. I missed the cut off last week for emails. I should have remembered, but life got in the way. The heart stories from everyone made me feel closer to this group. You all are amazing people with some fascinating histories. I am also glad that Asif is a part of your life. He truly is a holy man, bringing comfort to all. Of course, I would have written my special story about my dad, who I lost 20 years ago. I still miss him every day, but the pain has subsided. It will happen to you also, my friend. Just remember that. And it's funny you say that. I actually, I don't even know why I would say this, except we're all a family. I actually emailed Asif this morning and said that I had an unexpected emotional moment this morning and lost a little bit of time, and so that I'd be probably starting the show a little bit later. So I apologize to all of you for that too, but just couldn't help it. It just came when it did. And yeah. Trivia, right? Dextral, left sinistral. The shell was in a, so well done, sinistral direction, but it was instead right-handed. Maybe you're looking at it from a mirrored image, right? Mm-hmm. Opals that absorb and disperse water is hydrophane. So really you got 3 out of 4. That's pretty good. Please take care of yourself. We all love you, Sean. You're part of my life. I've watched you for over 10 years. I feel like you are my funky brother. Find your joy, Peg. I will take that. I will definitely take funky. I will take hippie. I will take all of that. Thank you. And Asif is sitting right on the other side of a whole bunch of equipment from me and listened to your compliment of how you felt about him, and it's very well placed. He truly is a holy man to a lot of people, and
a lot of holes.
a lot of old. We need that help no matter how old we are. You know, I still needed my dad. I'm 61 years old. Born on his birthday, he was 91, and I still feel like I lost a father I needed for help, questions, wisdom. All right, so next we have from Mr. Brad. He says, Dear Sean, Raven, Ossoff, and the Gem Shopping Network staff, I'm writing a quick note to offer my condolences to you and your family. I still haven't gotten completely through the August 8th show with everyone's memories. A very deep and emotional show, for sure. My father lived into early 70s with leukemia, so I know what your father meant when he said he grieved your mother's passing from the first day she was diagnosed with cancer. I remember my dad's diagnosis. Mom and Dad went on a long vacation together and then came back and told the family. Dad was an engineer, so he plotted out his blood work on green graph paper while he was in remission. He did well for several years and had to switch medications. He lived another 18 months. But then when he left us, I still couldn't believe it. No do-overs, no more other medications to try. No more Sunday evening phone calls. Dad always took great pleasure in describing the delicious dessert that he was eating with Mom over the phone. I miss all those special little things that helped define him as a good father. By the way, thank you for the Discrocite. Thanks for changing the subject. It is an interesting fit for me because I have been wanting a copper-silver half-breed from the Keweenaw Peninsula. So a silver antimony Discrocite will do very nicely. Thanks and be well. Well put. Miss Penny says, hello, Sean, Raven, GSN crew, and fellow Rockhounds. I hope everyone is well. Sean, I must admit that when I heard those words about my dad read back to me, it was quite surreal, and of course, I cried again. Thank you for taking the time to read my message and for your gift. As for the trivia, I don't remember the name given to the growth of shells. I remember the last time you asked that question because it was fresh that day. The direction of growth is dextral for right. I remember because dexia is right in Greek. And I think left is sinistral, which took quite a while for it to come to me. But it did come to you. Great job. I will make an educated guess for the shell you showed and say it is dextral. Right on. Get it? Right on. The opal property is hydrophane. You almost got everything right there, Miss Penny. Well done. Now I'll go through my wish list and see if a couple of items might still be available since I've been working on the list for a few weeks. Good job. Have a great week, and I hope to see everybody next week. All right, well, so we had the people that had written in last week, but then there was a few others, a couple others that joined in this week, and I decided to include everybody. So Miss Barbara, let me see, because I had to make a list for Kevin. So Miss Barbara, you get added, and Brad, you are in for the item as well. And Peggy, I think it was Peggy as that also I added in for the item. Did not want not want you to miss out. So, you know, again, something that was so important to me was the fact that I was born on my father's birthday, and out of this, all my siblings, there were 6 of us total. It I don't know, always made me feel a little bit special. None of my siblings were ever jealous of it or anything like that. I did get to get my day of my birthday off every year, and it was a tradition growing up that my father and I'd skip school and we would go fishing. This was mostly all through the time we were in Sarasota, Florida. So it was always great fishing, and there were some Januaries that were very cold, but didn't matter. We always went. So we shared the same birthstone. So you know what? I thought, wow, I think I will share my birthstone with everybody and do it by, yes, I am. I am giving everybody a Japanese iridescent rainbow garnet. Let's take a look at them. I have them on the turntable here, and yep, you got it. Look at these beauties. These are all 2 to 3 carats and have, look at that, incredible, incredible iridescence. These are the good stuff. These are the ones that Barbara read about. Look at that. Stories just about how rare they are, and for any of you that might have missed them before, whether it was due to cost or just look at that, missing out in general, well, you're going to, I think there's like 11 lucky people or so going to get in on them. Look at that. Look at those incredibly rare garnet. Mine was closed some time ago. So it is my birthstone. It is also my father's birthstone. And I thought, look at the colors as those turn around. There couldn't be a better, more fitting specimen to give everybody one of that. Hopefully, maybe you'll remember where you got it, when you got it, and why you got it. All right, let me tuck those away, and then we'll be right back with the winner of the trivia contest from this week. Check this out. This is the gift for the winner of the trivia contest from this week. This is a purple star Ceylon sapphire. Look at that star and look at the color. Look at the transparency. And this week's winner, lucky winner indeed, Miss, let me make sure I say it right. Yep. Miss Barbara in Brooklyn. Congratulations, Miss Barbara in Brooklyn, the lucky winner indeed. Wow, that's going to create some trivia envy, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to tuck this away, and then we'll be right back with the start of the show. All right, this is absolutely world class. And this not only makes an incredible display specimen for what it is, but if you want to, this is outstanding cutting quality lapis. Look at this material. Look at, for one thing, it's cabinet quality size. If you have wanted a piece of lapis just as a specimen or for display, this would work great. Look, it sits up on its own. As you can see, look at the colors of this kind of color in lapis. This is the good stuff. Look at that. That is the incredible coloring and not too much pyrite. And the blue lapis is not marbled, just like, a ribeye steak. Not marbled with calcite to where you have white running all through it, which cuts down on the value. All the calcite is gathered up together here in a very attractive way because you have, look at the pyrites. You have pyrites nestled in different areas on it, but you know what the most amazing thing about this calcite is? It is the trip to the closet. I was in the closet for way longer than I expected to be. I'm telling you, I know, some of you are not used to this show, are raising your eyebrows right now, reaching for that remote control, but don't do it, don't do it. All you need is a black light and you will be going to the closet also. This calcite, check this out, under, Brad, who I know loves, ooh, look at that. Oh, I was thought you were going to look at the pyrite. I was trying to show the pyrite. Brad, who loves pieces that are fluorescent, look at that, how the pyrite looks in that, would love this because under shortwave ultraviolet light, it glows a incredible color, and under long wave a completely different color. So short wave, it's orange. All this is an amazing orange color. Under long wave, it is yellow, and I don't even mean like a yellow orange. I mean yellow with no orange in the color of the yellow. So it is a really unique piece of calcite. Wow, look at the color of the lapis, natural color, and it's a large size piece. It is a large size piece. So if you wanted to work with it and cut some slices off the bottom, you could still have a wonderful specimen and a cutting material as well. or leave it as it is, because that is the way it came out of the ground. All natural. This piece, compared to what you would have to give for lapis these days, and again, it is from Sarisang, which is where, of course, all the well-known lapis deposits are from. And so, which is, of course, Afghanistan. Well, let's see. Are they having any problems lately? Yeah. Is that, you think lapis is getting to the market? No. Harder and harder to get, therefore more expensive along the way. I have this priced as a opportunity, and that opportunity is only $128. $128 for that large piece. All right. As Asif said, I need to get going. I want to get to items 107-3672. 107-3672. And let me do this. Okay. Check this out. Look at this. I have something. Wow. Look at all the beautiful colors of Mother Nature.
Is that the right number?
Yeah, 10738. Oh, wait, maybe I did say 6. I think it is a 6. 3672. 1073622. 1073622. Now, that green, when you see it, really across all the greens that you would ever see, if you see that, you pretty much really can go straight to dioptase. There's no other green. There's other greens like it, but not this consistent across the whole piece. And it's just a particular color that's very consistent in the dioptase world. In other words, dioptase from any different other locality still looks the same color. Now, here, let me get my pointer. This is, again, something that has a lot of fun here when it comes to fluorescence. Under short-wave ultraviolet fluorescence, it is strong. This entire area, not the dioptase, but everything else you see pretty much, I was trying to define what was doing what, and it was difficult for me to tell. Pretty much the entire thing just glowed a really strong reddish-orange, orange-red color. And so I'm thinking that there's a lot of calcites in it, and you can see all these little sparkling areas here. I first thought was cerussite because it's often found with it, but these larger areas are calcite. And so I'm thinking, but even this, the red, which I was thinking limonite, seemed to fluoresce as well, unless it's just all these little embedded calcites that are creating the color. Now, there is something else on it. There is cerussites, and let me look at this to orient myself on this piece. If it was the one, oh no, I gave myself away. The cerussites are on another one. Wait till you see that. So calcite and dioptase. Dioptase, of course, is a copper silicate, and the it was named by Awi, as we know, from Awinite, named in 1797, and from a Greek word, which Penny probably knows all these words meaning, for see-through, because you could visibly see the cleavage planes in it. That's kind of interesting. So visible cleavage planes you could see through the crystals when large enough. And but look at the colors. Look at the crystals. And this is just one if you don't have, because normally they're very expensive. I have made this very affordable. This is also one of those specimens that you wonder what's on the interior of it, because you know there's going to be more dioptase on the inside. It just, because you can see, it's just consistently random where they all are. And wouldn't that be interesting? Always is. You always wonder. But you know what? I have done and broken ones that I thought would have things inside them. And every time I did it, I wished I hadn't. So it's one of those better leave, well, enough alone. Price on this one, it is, I made it as a, even though I've never featured it before, I have sale priced it at $28. $28. And stunning fluorescence of incredible orange. So that would need to be checked into a little bit more just to see exactly where all it is coming from. Now, next, oh, this is special. This is item 107 3922. 107 3922. And another one you have not seen. And in this small, well, it's not totally small specimen, but in the size that it is, there are 4 minerals. 4 minerals in this piece, and that's pretty cool. Now, the neat thing about it, there's so many stories that this can tell. For one, you have barite blades, okay? So you have some pink barite there, and when you see the blades like that, often you can tell that they're barite. You can also see some spray-type forms. Let me get my little pointer here. Spray-type forms of barite here, but wait, there's more. What do you see? Look at these little thin orange crystals. Look at how thin they are, but they are fully crystallized. Mother Nature is amazing. Wolfenite, yep. Those are wolfenite crystals. This is a wonderful Moroccan specimen. And then all the shiny metallic is galena. Galena, primary lead ore. Galena, a simple chemical formula, just PBS. In other words, lead sulfide. Lead and sulfur. Wolfenite is a molybdenate, believe it or not. So wolfenite, well known in the mining world. It is just a lead molybdenate, so it is often found in conjunction with galena. So we have 2 minerals. We have galena, we have the wolfenite, the barite, which is a barium sulfate, so simple kind of formula there. And then the 4th mineral, cerussite. Cerussite is our lead carbonate. And this is the one I had to make a note mentally to remember to know where it was. So I remembered the V shape and look across from it. Now you can see that, look at the barite crystals. In all these little pockets, you have other wolfenites hiding. Now the cerussite, it took a little bit of studying and looking at, but it is the small clear crystals that with magnification you will see that are around a lot of the different galena crystals. When you see like the clear crystal there, when you saw that group I showed you a moment ago, when you look into here, there's little here, you can see all those little clear crystals. That is your cerussite, which is a lead carbonate. So you can see you have 3 different minerals there that have lead in them. So you can see how they would form. And guess what? This, coming again from a deposit that is very well-known and desirable location, the Daedalus mine. So I know exactly where it comes from. And here's from a Greek word again, the word for heavy, which is in reference to barite, due to the unusual weight for a non-metallic mineral. And it is stunning how heavy barite actually is. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. I think Latif spotted that at the same time. Really nice crystal of wolfenite hiding down in there. So this is a great specimen. If you don't have galena in your collection, this is a great one to have. The back of this, additional crystallization. And again, this one has some fluorescence, but nothing like the other one. This would not be what I would call a fluorescent specimen per se, but it certainly is a specimen for, wow, this is heavy, for the size that it is. It's a lot heavier than what you think. But of course, galena, lead, and the barite. Price on this, what a fun price. $38, only $38. So you get 4 minerals for only $38. Now, let me show you this next one. Oh yeah, we have sale priced items today. We have new items today. Let's get to what we can. Next is 107-4322. 107-4322, and look at this. Now, when I first quickly saw this for a moment, I thought it was chlorite in quartz, because it can often, the chlorite in quartz specimens, and I think I only showed one not long ago, look very similar to this. But then when I turned it over and saw this side, I thought, oh, that's not chlorite in quartz. It's epidote. Yep, epidote. This side looking much more like gem quality epidote that is facettable when you get nice enough pieces. Look how long and beautiful some of these crystals are, and wonderful translucency, and has classic epidote terminations. And a lot of these other, there's a lot of little microcrystals that are grown on these as well. When you use magnification, you can look into them. But like this one, you can see the clarity of that crystal when you get the light reflecting off of it. So some of these are really gemmy. Look at down there in that pocket right there. As we go in on this, you can see it's interesting. As the closer we get, then the more detail you get to see in the other smaller crystals that you might not have noticed at first, but then you notice them, and then you get to see the clarity of them. So like, look at the termination of that one. Now, as we go back to this side, look at the difference in the look of the epidote. These, that you can see why I would have thought it was chlorite and quartz, but you can see, of course, by the crystalline shape that it does not belong to the same crystal system and is solidly epidote and not a quartz that's been included. But it's really kind of cool for it to have 2 complete different looks in the epidote in the one specimen. And if you want, like this material here, like I often say, when you have time, you can actually take and clean specimen preparation and loosen up a lot of this other material. You can also put it in an ultrasonic without much, without any damage really occurring to this type of specimen, and that would help clean it up as well, if you want to. You know, in the in the middle of nowhere in Morocco, they don't exactly have ultrasonics, and they don't exactly have that equipment even back at the office. They don't have steamers. They don't have all kinds of other devices that would help clean these specimens up. So, or time, you know, just a simple electric toothbrush, one of my favorite tools for cleaning specimens. So, a wonderful 2-sided piece. This item on sale, even though it's never been shown before, only, ready, set, $21. Only $21 on that one. Now, let me show you. I have next item 107-3522. 107-3522, and take a look. This is something you haven't seen either before, and it is a batch of sapphire that I tumbled, but this was a different batch of sapphire tumbled than the material from India. As you can see, This has a complete different look. It is pink for one thing, and different type of inclusions in it than what you would see from other localities. That's just one way you can tell that it's not, oh, there's my favorite piece, let me show you, that it is not a material from India. All right, so look at this. This is, you can tell natural color also by what I'm getting ready to show you. This, I actually should have pulled and kept it. This is hard to describe it. It's almost a trapeche type of look in some ways, but in other ways, you'll be able to see the 6 sides to the crystal. I don't want to get too much light on there, but you can see that there is a darker pink color that is in a perfect hexagonal shape. And you can see it there as well. And that is some really cool, unusual color zoning that I have not actually seen in any of this type material except a piece like this. Can you imagine, you know, if you actually cut that as a cabochon, that might make for a really interesting cab. So that piece alone in this batch of stuff really made it worthwhile to me. And you can also see, look at that pink. That would cut a wonderful pink sapphire cabochon. And there is more goodies to explore. I could sit here and not waste, but you know, spend all kinds of time just looking at a parcel like that. But I will leave it to whoever is lucky enough to get this, because I have it at a incredible value, ready, set. Even the amount of diamond compound I used to polish these myself in time, it would never be worth it, but you know I'm all about incredible deals for you. $18. $18. Yep. All right, next, let me show you. This is a collector's stone, 877119. 877119. And boy, when you have something that is described as root beer color, that's always a neat way to start off for something unusual. Check this out. Okay, now, Vesuvianite. You hear of Vesuvianite, but you think of it as being green because the other name for Vesuvianite is Idocrase, and they actually cut gemstones from it and whatnot. Well, this is Pakistani Vesuvianite, 3 stones, and it is with rhodingite, which is a new mineral that you might be able to add to your collection. All right, let me show you. Let me show you the root beer color to this. And look at that. Look at that. This is for Vesuvianite. Wow. And look at that. That is a true root beer color. I happen to like root beer, so I know. And look at that color. And what a great crystal. And look at, you can even see the termination on the end. That's one piece of it. Here's another. And wow, look at that. Look at that color. What a wonderful, wonderful crystal form. You can see that is the entire crystal. And the rhodingite is this material that you see now on the exterior of that. And I'll leave it to whoever's lucky to get enough to get it to look up rhodingite and see exactly more about it. Because right now I have this on sale price, and I'm going to give someone an amazing deal. Look at the color. So 3 wonderful stones. Price on this, I see it was $38, but it is sale price now. Ready? $28. Only $28 for all 3 pieces. All 3 pieces. So that is a rare opportunity to get in on something most unusual for not a lot of money. Now, talk about rare. Let me show you. 107 3422. 107 34 22. And this is from the old Made in the USA collection. Let me show you. It is from the great state of Wyoming. And if I said it was olive green, and it was from Wyoming, and it was a stone that you normally cabochon, how many of you would get it? I'm not sure, but there might be some of you that would. Look at that. If I showed it to you, then now would you get it? Well, of course, you're looking at the graphic, so you would get it. It is, of course, some of Wyoming's well-known, to people like me, nephrite jade. Since I collect nephrite and jade from around the world, this is something that, being from the United States, yeah, definitely known about. I think I cut my first Wyoming jade when I was probably 15, 14. Look at the color. Look at the actual color. Very clean. It doesn't have necessarily the black inclusions like British Columbian nephrite will. You know, some will, but this piece certainly doesn't. And you can see with light on it, the surface kind of coloration is very distinct and classic and typical of nephrites. And then, of course, with the light away from it, you can just see the nice dark green color tone to it. That is a collector's stone. It even has a label that came with this. And I'm talking about this piece. I did not... it's from my collection, but I didn't cut it. But I have had this for I don't know how many decades. This Wyoming olive green. That was the little tag that was with the stone when I got it decades ago. Not even sure exactly what the rest of the story of how I got it, but it's a really nice, pretty piece. Ready, set, it is only $15. $15. And that's just a wonderful item to add to a nephrite collection, which you should have one. You should have a jade collection, nephrite collection, put it in jewelry, or just put it on a next to another piece of, you know, group it by different types. It's kind of always neat. I had on my top shelf of my corner display, I had the ruby ins. In other words, ruby in fuchsite, ruby in smaragdite, which is your chunky gal ruby, you know, ruby in zoisite. That is how I grouped the items on the top shelf, because I had some bigger items and I could slice them real thin, and it just made a really neat grouping of those items together. So, you know, it's neat to come up with different ways to display and show off items, and that's just one idea. Jade, or nephrite in itself, along with jadeite, makes for, and all the different looks it has, makes for one of those items that for a great display item like that. All right, now this next item, this is special. It is 107 42 22. 107 42 22, and when I was going through the Japanese iridescent rainbow garnets, this one kind of jumped out at me, and I thought, you know, I guess I'll offer sale. It's one of the largest ones, and it also has one of the most unique, different form to its crystalline makeup, and the way it looks. So let me show you. Let me see. Keep my hands out of it. All right, look at this piece. You have multiple crystals involved, and that have intergrown and grown then on top of it. All right, so look, you also have some twinning. The colors in here are amazing, and that's why it's just easier to hand hold it to be able to really show them off. And look at all the different faces and the different colors you get. And then look at these, look at, yeah, Latif is loving it. I don't know if he's seen some of these like we've shown him before. And then look at these additional crystals. Wow, look at that face that was, and that's just it. You know, you think that there's no color in there until you get the light right at the right angle, and then boom, the color just jumps out. Like, look at the colors there. And there's a color in there, I just haven't hit the angle where it's showing itself off. But like even the smallest of the little faces will reflect stunning colors. And there has been, as Barbara mentioned, a lot of things written up about it, and she then really thanked me for sharing these, because she really recognized and realized after reading some additional articles about them just how rare, and that out of all the androdites and the iridescent androdites, look at this, they are by far the best in the world. And the mine has been closed since 2005, and it was just not an actual mine itself. It was just a vein that was found along near a magnetite mine. And then it drove so many people to that area that they started weighing heavy fines against all the all the rockhounds that made their way to the deposit. And it was only a very small seam deposit as it was. So for me to be able to get what I got when I did, I feel fortunate, and I have only shared them with all of you. No one else. So these are rare, and in the androdite world are the finest the world has to offer. In other words, the New Mexican ones, the Mexico ones, the Arizona androdites, none of them come close to the colors. So I love these little additional, look at that little additional crystal growing and that formed off of there. And it's really, look at even the reflection in the mirror to be able to see all the colors. This one at over 7 carats. See, look at the reflection in the mirror where you can see other angles and other colors. Over 7 carats, very rare and considered very large. And this one with the extra little crystal growth just makes it very aesthetically attractive as a specimen. Really, really, really attractive. All right, big piece. If someone wants to get in on one of probably the last few I will ever offer, I will, that one comes in a suspension box and a incredible sale price. If you go and look on the internet what these are selling for, your jaw will just drop. The ones that are like 3/4 of a carat to 1 carat and have basically no color, I saw they were offering some of those for like $70 and $80 a piece. It was really, and then the other choices, there were just so few. And you know, you're going to show off always the best view in the pictures when you go to sell them. Well, I kept looking at the pictures thinking, wow, if this is the best view of the, iridescence that they could find, it's more, you're not getting iridescent Japanese garnet, rainbow garnet. You're getting just Japanese androdite garnet. And, but this one, a real beauty. Price on it, only $138. $138, and that is a considerably large size crystal with many different faces, many different viewpoints, and additional crystalline growth, lots of iridescence to show off, and could be even made into a ring if so desired. Love that piece. One of the best of the ones I have left. Okay, now, what I'm going to show you, I haven't offered in a while. I have a diamond parcel, I kid you not. Let's look at 107-44-22. 107-44-22. And let me show you first. Let me just show you. I'll probably just leave them in here. There's the 3 stones. There's the 3 stones. They came out of the same ring. There's 3 others, if you might be interested, that would match. I just didn't want to make the price of the parcel too high by putting 6 in it together. But I am putting the 3 because 3 you can do a lot with. You can do, side stones or middle stone, and it's difficult to work with just 1. It's easier to 2. 3 gives you a lot more options. And these all, you saw how white they were in color against the gem tube. And then for clarity, they're all eye clean, which would be like an SI clarity to grade them that way. And they are all also the same millimeter, making it easy if you're going to channel set them or whatnot. Round brilliant cuts, they're 2.6 millimeters. And there you go. Now, in pricing these, I had to laugh because I've actually truly had to replace them from a wholesaler. Prices on diamonds are easy for someone like me to be able to find exactly how much it would cost to replace them. And I'm actually offering these for less than what it would cost me. But again, it came out of what we call a scrap piece of jewelry. So why not? I am offering these they're 25 points. That's a 1/4 carat total weight between the 3 stones at less than 400 a carat, making them $98 for the 3. $98 for the 3. And let me just show you, because a lot of you ask for a size reference. And let me just give you a size reference. Let's say next to here we go. Let's say pretend I wanted to put it next to or in, look at that. That would look fantastic. That would look fantastic. And you can see next to my Burma Ruby in platinum, if I flush set that, like I did those sapphires in that wonderful 2-tone sapphire ring, you can see nice size for that. All right, let me put these away and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Anybody have an appetite? Well, if you don't, you can buy one. Check this out. I know the exact mine it came from. It came from the Mercado mine, which means market, Mercado. And this has really strong shortwave fluorescence. And it is a orange color to chartreuse. And from Cerro de Mercado mine, which is Market Hill mine. Look at that crystal. And it is on chalcedony. So look at this. And this is how you can actually tell from the mine that it comes from, because it is known to form with chalcedony at this particular mine. And then you can see, look at that. That is where there was a fracture. Then the fracture healed itself and the crystal continued to grow, but at a slightly different angle. And that happens. And you have other little crystallizations. And here's the really neat thing. Remember, a lot of times that chalcedony has strong fluorescence, and it's often a yellow chartreuse color tone. So, and apatite can fluoresce as well. Apatite often can have some rare earth elements that can add a lot of punch to some of its properties. It's piezoelectric, like quartz. So, and remember, our bones are made out of hydroxyapatite, which is just apatite with an OH molecule. So, yeah, neat stuff. Okay, this one, how about a sale price? This is a neat specimen, and also one for a collector of fluorescent material. it's really unusual with the apatite growing and forming on chalcedony as well. So, price on this, ready? You're gonna love it. Oh, it also, this is the box it came in, so you can see by the yellowish color tone that it is a oldie but goodie from an estate, old estate piece I picked up. Price on this, let's go ahead and make it $9. $9. You know, we're doing some deals now. You're gonna love this next one as well. This is item 982720. 982720. And I tell you what, you should be able to recognize these without me even having to tell you or see it in the graphic because of the formation of the crystals. When you see them like that, terminated on both ends, pointed at both ends like that, you are looking not only at sapphire, but sapphire that is from Sri Lanka, also known as Ceylon. And look at these. Look at these. This is natural color. This yellow one is huge. This is very well formed. Would make a beautiful natural drop pendant like it is. And I wondered, because I hadn't really polished a window into the crystal, but if I did so, I might be able to see just how clear and clean it is for faceting if someone was to want to do that. But this piece is actually quite attractive as to do an easy wire wrap, because you have that natural area that's narrower to wrap the wire in and lock it in place. So it would be a really easy piece. You know what? This is awfully clean. Sometimes, you know, when you look at the exterior, you get thrown off by the coarse surface of it. And until you look on the inside of it, it's difficult sometimes to be able to tell the clarity of it. Let me try to not get too much light on this. Yeah, look at the clarity in that. You can see that it's quite a clean crystal. Wow. Anyway, either a great crystal for a specimen or take a gamble on and cut it, but either way, it's a large piece. And then some other fun ones. That you could even give away. And speaking about giving away, we, Asif and I had even talked about those garnets. For some of you, you've already maybe have an iridescent Japanese rainbow garnet. And that being the case, if you ever wanted to pass it forward, send some love on, those would be a incredible item, because you know someone else that is not going to have one or can't maybe afford one, and it'd be a wonderful way to share the love, spread the love, send it forward. That's if maybe you already have one. If you don't, then hang on to that piece of love for yourself. I thought about that again because we had talked about that, because when I saw these sapphires and saw these additional ones, again, this is something that you might be a rock hound, but you may never have an opportunity or may never have a natural white sapphire crystal or a Ceylon sapphire crystal. And here are some extras that come with this parcel. It's not going to be a lot of money. Sure, keep the big one for yourself, pass some of the others forward. That's what made me think about, again, those garnets, because you may already have one. And what a great way, again, to share the hobby and the love. All right, now here's the opportunity why you could give some of these away, because I am going to make the price where it's just going to be so inexpensive. Keep the big one for yourself. Give the other little ones away, because how about this? The entire parcel at an opportunity of only, this is definitely sale price, $28. $28. And for that much weight in 5 stones. So you're looking at just over $5 each. You know, $5.50 a crystal. Look at the size of that. Could you imagine? Those alone at $5 or $6 each would be well below what they would cost you to get one. But then to figure an average to have that in that large crystal, I'm being kind of crazy to actually even offer something like that for that price. But that's what it's about. It's about having fun with the hobby, sharing the hobby, and with all of you sharing the love that's part of the hobby that we have made it to be. Now, this next item, okay, I was going to show you, but I think, let me see if I have it. No, I will have to get a new copy because I cannot even read what it says on the tag. It got worn off by the rock. Imagine that. All right, instead, let me, here we go. Here's another close version of it. 10 with magnification. 1050122. 1050122. Okay, remember, if you don't have one, everybody must have a zeolite. Look at this, a zeolite. Oh yeah. And this one really cool because it has gyrolites. Now, gyrolite is not one of the zeolites that you're often going to find in the other zeolites that I offer and showcase for you. These are huge gyrolites on a specimen this size, and then look at this. You have wonderful mirror apopholites. Beautiful, beautiful apopholites. Large gyrolites. So it might be 2 minerals you don't even have, or at least gyrolite you may not have it in any other mineral. But look at the back. Remember the green? Remember the green? Celadonite, a type of mica. And then oftentimes you can find garnardite. Pink is just a piece of label. Lawmentite, you got to look around in the little crevices. Zeolites can pop up and be found in all kinds, or scolicites in other little areas, all kinds of other areas. But look at this. You can tell that they are mirror apopholites when they reflect back at you like that. The mirror apopholites are a more desirable form of apopholite than others. All right. Price on this guy, again, big time sale price, and that's going to make it, well, let's see what, let's see what I'm going to do for this one. This one, how about this price? How about this? Only ready, set, $12. No. Let's really super sale price that. Make it $9. I know, that is a what price? $9. Okay, let me tuck away a couple things I have in front of me. I'll be right back. All right, time for another stilbite, apopholite, AKA zeolite. Oh yeah. This zeolite is really a really nice specimen, especially for the discount I'm going to put on it, sale price. Let's look at this. Look at the stilbites. Look at how beautiful and aesthetically formed they are. Classic, perfect termination. Look at the, look at them. Yeah, look at how large they are. And then look at the clarity to some of the apopholites that surround it, that wow, are just nestled around those. Look at that. Look at that wonderful formation to the crystal with the little irises flashing out of them. And then let's look at the back. Oh yeah, we have the green, you should know it by now, celadonite. Then often the white, when you see it in the little pockets on the back, will often be garnardite, another zeolite. And So you're talking about stilbite, apophyllite, celadonite, garnardite, and there's one more. Let's look and see if we can find it. Ah, I see it. Does anybody else? Look at that. That is a crystal. Look at the way it goes from all the way down here, scoots around the apophyllites, and ends up with Sean breaking it with the tweezers. Look at that. You know, look at how beautiful that is. Does anybody know what that is? Do you know? Well, you might. Scolecite. It is a scolecite. Now, I do have a world-class scolecite back behind me. You might have noticed it. If anybody is interested in one of those, let me know. Look at the irises. Look at those incredible, all those little rainbows. And the fun thing with a specimen like this is to find additional minerals like that. Like I'd explore back in there. I'm not sure what that little item off the side of that is, what the darker area is. They could be other little crystallizations. There could be, again, a lamentite. When you look along the edge, oftentimes you'll get a layer that everything forms on, and it's often heulandite. And that may be exactly, actually, what we have here. Look at this. See that little pink layer? And it goes along the entire thing. I don't know why it actually ends up doing that, but that's one of the things that I see that they form on is a layer of heulandite. Look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. And it sits up on its own, as you can see. It is a cabinet quality size. You can look at the size of it and look at how aesthetic that is. Look at that scolecite right there. You can really see it. Might be a few others. Oh, look at that. It looks like there's one on the back side of there too, doesn't it? Sure is. There's more. Look at that. Yeah, they were hiding underneath the edge. Oh, there's a whole slew of them. 1, 2. Yep. Look at all those. That's a fun specimen. Because you just look for things and then you find additional minerals on it, something like that. That's really neat. All right, I have it sale priced. And something that fine, you've already heard other people say, what a deal that I have on the zeolites that I've featured. And it's because, of course, many, many years ago, we did a sea freight shipment. And the difference in shipping is such a large part because rocks weigh, and it's such a large part of the cost of moving minerals around the world that when you get a deal on shipping like that and going in a whole about 10 different mineral dealers to fill up one of those big sea freight shipping containers, but wow. And it took overall like 6 months to fill it. By the time it went through cleared customs, by the time I got it in my hand, it was close to a year. Close to a year from the time we put the order together on all the different items till I got it in my hand, but it was well worth it. All right, how about this? What a sale. Making this only $44. Only $44. Now let me show you. The next really very aesthetically attractive piece is item 1063722. 1063722. And look at this. Let's go to Spain. And wow, do we have look at that, very attractive. Look at that. Look at those scalenahedral crystals. Huh? Boy, that's exciting. Yeah, I won't get a second date if I talk to a girl like that, unless she's a fellow rock count. Work with the Raven, and look at how the calcites are actually tipped in orange. How neat is that? Dogtooth calcites. That's the name they give the name people recognize for the crystal form of calcite in the scalenahedral form. It does look like a dog's tooth. And some of these you'll see are twinned, but here is what I think the neat part is the pyrite. Look at the pyrite forming around it, with some of these calcites coming out of the pyrite, or the pyrite forming around the calcites. Look at the double termination on some of these. And then it's one of those specimens you just have to keep looking all around it. This is an old specimen from that estate I got of Spanish pieces, from a lot of them from Asturias, and a lot of them actually had catalog numbers on them as well. Wow, look at that. Look at the pyrite on these. And the backside, there is indeed additional minerals in this piece, and that often is what leads to a big part of having fun and getting to play with your rocks and minerals is finding those additional specimens and then seeing if you can figure out what they are. Look at that little guy growing right out of there. I'm kind of wondering if that's a calcite or maybe something else. Yeah, look at that tucked. Yeah, it got Latif's attention also, tucked down in there. That's kind of neat. A snaggletooth, double tooth there. And look at the pyrites down in those little openings. Very attractive all the way around, and from a very desirable locality. And it's from the Moscona mine in Asturias, Spain. The Moscona mine, so I know exactly where the mine that it's come from. Dogtooth, Spanish calcite, and pyrite. This piece weighing just over a pound. It's from an old estate, and actually I have the estate, the actual catalog number written in the description, which makes me wonder if the number was on here. I don't see it now, but I at least preserved what would have been the original number. Some of them, of course, from decades old, didn't last over time. Price on this, you're not going to believe it. For this kind of look and what I'm asking for it, big sale price, $48 on it. $48. That is marking it down considerably from where it was. And look at that look for $48 from the Moscona mine with pyrite, knowing, to know exactly where it's from, and adds a lot of value to pieces. Adds a lot of value. So to discount something and only charge $48 for really a specimen like that, you could, it'd be hard to find it for less than well over twice that, probably more like 3 times that amount, because aesthetically it's extremely attractive. It's got the orange tips to the calcites. It's got the pyrite background. It is in very good shape with very little chipping or anything out of place or order. Really nice specimen and not a lot of money. Let's look at item 1069722. 1069722. Now, I showed this not too long ago, but I want to show it again because no one took advantage of it. I guess you wanted it to be sale priced. Well, it's going to be. Look at the zircon. Let's see. 1069722. Look at the zircons in this. Look at the zircons. There's just not one, but there is one really nice one. Look at this. And wow. Zircons, of course, form to where a lot of them look bipyramidal. So you can see this one, if you actually could remove it, a lot of them are doubly terminated. So you can see the termination to this one, and you can see the clarity to it. So it will continue on, and there'll be another pyramidal opposite side to it. You can see there's another remnant of a crystal. biotite mica, that's the dark type of mica that you're seeing there, but there's also zircons sprinkled all around. Look at this, and a great way to find them is with ultraviolet light. So you have yellow fluorescence under shortwave light, and the fluorescence is really strong on these zircons. You have multiple zircons. So when you see zircons like this, oh, look at this one back here. Whoa, look at that little jewel. And a bigger one. So when you see zircons like this, you know on the interior of the piece, there's more. Like, look, there's even little tiny ones. So that's where, you know, you leave well enough alone. Look at that nice shape and form. Because this crystal, though, if you wanted to, it's called specimen preparation. You can actually take Dremel tools and sand, and they do this even with the finest of specimens. Actually, almost all fine specimens have had extensive cleanup done to them, to where, you know, little unwanted things are removed and whatnot. And or a crystal like this, they'll dig away and remove matrix around it to reveal the crystal more. Boy, that is a really pretty angle right there. And but there's a lot of time involved, so you have to pay for that time as well when that's done. So some of these specimens that are, you know, truly 5 and 6 figures, $10,000 to $100,000 or more, they will have had a lot, many times, a lot of extensive specimen preparation time on them. Beautiful piece. Okay, so here, I'm going to sale price it because I want that one to find a home. It's a very, very attractive one. And let's go ahead and make this a super discount and drop the price by close to half. Let's make it only $48. $48. And it shows off really, really well. Now, let me show you item number 1035821. 1035821. And this is a piece that if you're collecting epidote, we showed you one earlier from Morocco. Well, you know, a lot of people don't realize that, believe it or not, Italy has some stunning epidotes. And I didn't really realize that until I was doing some research on some of the, on like this piece that I got as an estate piece. And it came with this label, so I know exactly where it came from. So when I was looking at some more information about the epidotes that were in very well-known areas of wine country and whatnot of Italy, I could, you know, go to Italy now and skip the food and wine. Let's go rock hunting. Some of the epidote deposits were in highway rock cuts, and I was looking at some of those specimens, and they were amazing, amazing. All right, so this is just a really nice one if you're collecting them from other locations. Has some nice crystallizations and also has a huge opportunity at a sale price, making this one, oh, why not? How about this? Why not? $12. $12. That's a deal. Oh, look at this. I almost forgot to show this. The clock is ticking down. 1073722. 1073722. Oh, yes, actually, let me get a little water. This is one of the ones I wanted to show off because there were many of you that, especially you cutters, but also, you know, after seeing, I think it was Anthony that cut the 41-point trip light out of some rough that I had gotten. So Triplite is a manganese fluorophosphate, and it is a very rare material. And I happened to, of course, some time ago get in on a outstanding buy on it, a batch of it. Let me show you. Let me show you. So I just got some of it wet because what you're looking at is, look at this parcel. Look at this parcel. Okay, this is the rest of it, and it is, I just dumped some of it out because I don't even have room to show it all. There is 200 grams, that's 1,000 carats. So I randomly just put some of this in here. Now remember, triplite never forms in a well-defined crystal pattern. They're always just kind of rough looking, but look at the colors in some of this. This is just, these pieces, look at this, until you get, wow, look at that. See, you look at it like that, it doesn't look like much, but when you actually apply light so you can look into it, you can see pinks, orange, plus translucency to transparency. And that's just it. You don't know until you get into it. And so that 41-point stone that he cut, triplite is so valuable that it doesn't take a big stone to be worth quite a bit. Look at this piece. This one, what a wonderful one to keep for a matrix specimen. But look at that. Look at that. Look how attractive it is. And look at that. There are so many opportunities to find a stone. Look, you would never think that there's much of anything in there. But it's not until, of course, you, as a cutter, you have to remove the exterior, you have to apply light, you have to just look into the gem and see what you have to work with. Some of it, great for tumbling, others, great for specimens, and if you're like Anthony, great for faceting, finding that 41-point gem. Look at this. Look at that. In that piece of triplite that he got from a parcel like this, except I have never offered one this large at 1,000 carats. So I'm willing to share a little bit of the triplite that I have, but I don't know how much I'm going to be sharing, but I just want to show you that there is so many opportunities. I haven't even looked through it all because it's, I'll let someone else have a lot of the fun, but believe me, there's a lot of fun to this. Look at this. I'm telling you, there can't help but to be additional opportunities. And this is, okay, here is another opportunity. There's enough of something this rare that you could give to your fellow rock hounds, because you know what? They're not going to have any rough triplite. Where would they even get it? Where would they find it? How fun would that be? You know, there's a chatoyancy. Everyone seeing that coming right across that piece? That's right curious, because if you cabbed that, that might, I don't know, that might create like a cat's eye triplite or something. That's unusual. I'm going to hide it back in there and let someone else find it again. Maybe you won't. Maybe I'll get to keep this parcel and reclaim it out of there. Okay, so anyway, lots of great material there. 1,000 carats. That's a lot of triplite. Hardness of 5, 5.5. There is, again, like you see, what you're seeing is the entire amount. Look at all that, and look at how they're big, large pieces. Plenty of opportunity to find. Just one stone is all it would take to recoup. Ready? All that you see, $98. I kid you not, $98. That is a sale price. Even though I've never shown that parcel before, I just took it straight to a sales price opportunity. Indeed. Now, let's see. With a moment of time left, let me go to what will probably be the last item of the show, but I tell you what, this would be a good one. Item 106, let me see, boy, I tell you, got to go. 1069622, 1069622, and let's go back to Pakistan. and show you one of my favorite gemstones of all time, and that is sphene. It is still, to me, one of the undervalued gems. It has one of the most, it's one of Raven's favorite. I'll have to show you her sphene ring I put together for her and gave her 1 year. Oh, you have that next? Has a beautiful cobaltin calcite necklace on as well. All right, look at this. This is a twin crystal of sphene. Then you have incredible chlorites, which is clinochlor in the form of clinochlor. Then also on this one, you have adularia, which is a type of feldspar where they get the word adularescence. And then you have calcites. And this one, you can tell the difference between calcites and the feldspar by the hardness is the easiest way. Not always by the adularescence, because calcite can have a reflection as well. So you can tell by fluorescence at times, but the hardness is the quickest and the easiest way for what would be the case for most of you. This has crystallization in many different directions, and then even has some, wow, let's look right back in under here for a moment. I know, look at some unusual crystals right there. Looking at a different color. So they may be calcites, but look at back in there. Look what's back deep down in there. An interesting crystal reflecting. I'll leave that to one of y'all. Could be a calcite. Could be a calcite, but certainly worth someone taking a look-see at it. Look at that. That one. So here, two different minerals right there. I'd say calcite there and adularia there. Sphenes sprinkled around, but that really beautiful one sitting on the top is a real showpiece. All right, I am going to sale price this beauty. Look at how well that would show off. And then I love it that just all the other crystals, you can see the calcites and the feldspar. So anyway, how about this? Last item of the show, sale price it. I am going to deeply discount this one as the last item opportunity and mark that price of $77 out. Ready? Should love it. $48. Only $48 on that one. Yep. And with that, we'll make that one, even though I have so many other things to show you, but we'll make that one the last item of the show, and we'll bring it back to you next week. Stand by, stand ready. Be right back with the trivia question. Okay, so trivia time. And I guess I'm a little at loss for words after the last week and the week before, and that's okay, because between what I've shared with all of you and what you have shared with us, the words we have spoken are so valuable and so meaningful that if it has caused me a loss of a few words now, that's okay. I will swap those incredible, valuable, meaningful words for words of just a couple other rocks, right? Love prevails. Okay, I have my trivia questions ready. And Asif actually helped me out, which was a great help, actually. And because I'll sit here and I overthink it. I overthink things. And, of course, Asif has as much knowledge, really, as well. We won't go there, but yeah. Put it this way: I could put it behind the desk and put some incredible rings, gems and minerals, rocks, you name it. He's seen it all. Okay, in the 22 years or the amount of time that he's been here. He has seen it all. He's heard it all. and I could put him behind, mic him up is what they call it. Mic him up and put him behind the desk and put some inventory in front of him, and he could discuss it knowledgeably, well beyond what so many other quote knowledgeable people could describe things or could recognize things. It just, after working with it for so many years, whether it's your hobby or not, you're bound to absorb information, a lot of information. And so it was easy for him, which made it so quick for me. It was like one of the fastest amount of times we had. And we'll see, he said. But one of the fastest amount of times I was able to.
Latif.
Oh, yeah, well, Latif. That's true. That's right. Oh, my goodness. Latif, who had to step away and go to the other showroom on camera. But Latif gave me the first. Actually, I didn't have to do anything. That's why, it was minutes. All of a sudden, I forgot. That's right. Latif gave me the first one, Asif the second. That's a team. Wow. Okay. And you know what?
Dave is missing in action.
Yeah, that's right. If you didn't hear the word Dave mentioned today, well, he missed out on all the fun, and the love. Well, we'll go to another day, but I got to find out things about Latif before the show started that I had no idea about him. And I've known the guy for 14, 15 years. And so, it's those special little moments that you grab and you find out about someone you work with, something new about someone you worked with for so long and consider a friend. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that. And so, I lost time maybe doing something else, but I got so absorbed about the person, about finding out about the individual, not just looking at him as just someone I work with. And that's it's like, of course, finding out about Asif's, other part of his life. From when he was born in Pakistan as a child, how did he get here? What was it like in school? All these other things. That's how you know and find out who the real person is. And wow, I couldn't have asked for a better bunch of guys than the ones, when Dave's not here, Latif, what a great other choice. I won't even say second choice because there's no ranking. Any one of those guys are incredible, and I'm so fortunate to work with them. So, and remember, Latif, years ago, it used to come up on the graphics, cut by Latif. He actually facets and has knowledge of cutting stones. The camera guy. So that's the level of knowledge that these guys have. And, I'm just going to say it. You get some other people that come in as a vendor or a host or something, and they think that the cameramen are just about cameras. And they sometimes think that they know cameras even better than they do. And yeah, no, that's not the way it works.
We actually know Jeff Stone's better than some of them.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I can tell you is the production, which are the guys, know a lot about cameras and some about jewelry, if not some to a lot about jewelry. But it doesn't work the other way around. The vendors or the hosts may know some about jewelry, but they don't know squat about camera work. And we'll just leave it at that. And that was using a polite word. So, and let me just say this. When you see some what might be considered as boo-boos or errors in what you might want to blame on a cameraman, it's not the cameraman. It's the host trying to tell the cameraman how to do their job. I'm fortunate enough that these guys know both sides, and boom, I got trivia questions directly from them, and all of a sudden it's like, and I will labor over it and labor and think, and boom, Latif gave me one, walked out the door like it was like no big deal. Asif gave me a really good one. Okay, so here they go. Ready, set? Now, remember, you can always write down and take notes from the show. When it comes to trivia question, you can use your notes, but your memory is what's most important because we want to really drive home the information. And by knowing that you're going to be quizzed on it, I think, if we knew at the end when we're in school that there's going to be a pop quiz on what we learned in the class that day, we would listen and pay much closer attention to the teacher, wouldn't we? At least that's the way I did it. It's like, okay, well, I know I'm going to have a test. But that's the idea here. You know you're going to get a trivia question at the end of the show. I want you to listen closer to it. And Asif even said, he goes, the whole idea is to test you on it so that it helps you retain it. And, a more educated consumer truly is a better client. Even if that's a statement you've heard a million times from other TV commercials or whatever, it does ring true, though. All right, here we go. Ready, set? The first question comes from Latif. Latif said, ask them to name the Pakistani Four. And you know what? I'm not going to go any further than that because in the comments, that coined phrase I thought was very appropriate and came from one of all of you. And I know who. So I know that person will get the answer right. But, and I talked about it. What?
She can't.
Right. So since she can't ask the question and I'm asking in lieu of her, I am going to use her answer for the question. Name the Pakistani Four. Simple as that. Okay, now, but that doesn't mean you don't have to rule yourself out for the trivia. You still throw your hat in there, throw your answer in there, and you might be a winner. Second question, which comes from Asif, which makes it a little bit harder, but also helps you to remember and to associate. Okay, so here we go. What does the mine named Cerro de Mercado mean? All right, so we talked about it. What does the mine that was named Cerro de Mercado mean? And good luck with that. It's important because translation, if you're going to a particular place and you're buying something from a locality, they're not going to translate it into whatever language they think you might speak. They're going to tell you that it is from the language of the country of origin, and the name of the particular mine is going to be in the country's language. And it helps to know some of the important names and also to know that they're just not going to speak English. So it helps to remember the original name in the local language. So there you go. All right. Now, part B to that question is, and this one also came up with too, and I thought, wow, that is a technical but a great question. Name the, I had to write it down. Name the other gem material that apatite is known to form with from that particular mine. And that's why it all ties in together, because it is unusual that and I gave you half of it, that apatite is associated with this other, actually, semi-precious gem. And it's unusual, except for coming from this particular mine. So, there you go. Name the other gem material that apatite is known to form with from the Cerro de Mercado mine, or that mine. All right, good luck with those, and I hope everyone has an absolutely marvelous week. Thank you again for all of your share and cry moments. Yeah, you have no idea. It means so much to Asif and I and the team that that we asked you for something very interpersonal, and that you responded as you did, and in such a deep, loving way. And I, like one of you commented, that because of this event or practice, that what we just all went through, they feel closer to us as a whole, as a group. And wow, can't ask for any better bonding than that, and comment than that. So it is for just even one person like that to feel that way, makes it all worthwhile, and it just makes us all feel a little bit warmer inside. And now, you know, I'll probably both go home and cry again, but they're tears of joy. They're tears of love. And wow, what a great way to finish the show on that thought. God bless all of you, and I'll see you next week.